I have a green bar. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, welcome back, everyone. When last we left the session, you had discussed how you wanted to go about trying to get an AAG from the Splagorth. You had Hart and Isaac work up a device that could throw out gravity particles and could be bounced off of an AAG because it has a small element in it called saffron, I believe, that can repel gravity. And you had talked to Xavier's contact, Seth, to set up a meeting to hire a expert professional thief to steal said item. I don't remember if you guys had your heart set on steal, or it was more like find the item and we'll take it from there, or I don't actually remember that part. That's if you guys could refresh my memory.
It's up to how we have to meet with them first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And determine. We'd prefer it if they can steal it, but remember, it was the price that it's going to cost is dependent on how difficult it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we want them to steal the damn thing, obviously, but if it's going to be too pricey, then just locate it.
Makes sense. Okay. And you guys had gone back to your ship because it was going to be Seth told you to meet him in the bar the next day, basically in about 24 hours. And we had pretty much skipped forward to about that time. I have a few questions for you guys. The first one is there anything that you would want to do or discuss before you because you were about to go to the meeting? In fact, I believe Isaac had just put Hart to bed and crashed for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, he passed out on the floor. So, yeah. After 40 minutes, he'll wake up and groggily exit the room, probably not even realizing that he wasn't in his own room, and going to get the rest of the group.
Okay.
Well, I don't think Isaac has to go and get Xavier because he's ready to go.
Okay. What's Lucas doing?
I believe he was scribbling on his scroll the last time that was done.
Okay. All right. So, real quick, a little bit of housekeeping. Piph had talked to me real quick about doing some retroactive purchasing. So I looked and allowed a certain thing. Piph, just so you know, you're going to be marking off 500,000. No, sorry, 15,000 credits.
Okay. Yes, considered and marked off.
Okay. And I just need to know, since you guys are on Galactic Cruise Line station, and it is a station that generally only allows SDC equipment, what are you bringing with you to this meeting?
Ninja outfit, and that's it.
Okay, so you're going to be fully covering up?
Yes.
Okay.
Gonna just take my Walther PPK styled pistol, and I'll use the face of. It'll have to be Buckley. It'll have to be
right, because
that's
Philip.
yeah, Philip Buckley, because that's how my friend knows me as, right? Of course, he knows I have other faces on their IDs. He made the damn things, right? But I mean, Xavier Anderson is what's wanted, not Phil Buckley. So he'll go as Phil. Wait, is this too hot for Phil? No. I know who he's going to go as. He's going to go as Amston the Shark. That's right. That's been his face this entire time while he's up in this freaking quote unquote cruise station.
Yeah, and you are correct. It was Amston the Shark. And yes, as you said before, Seth knows that you have identities, but to be fair, I don't think he's seen most of your faces. He just knows the identities and the pictures of them. Well, I guess that kind of never mind. He has the photo identification of your IDs, so I guess he kind of has seen those faces.
Correct.
So, okay. And Lucas, what will you be bringing?
He is going to be bringing what he brought last time, which was his old man fishing outfit, as well as a bundle of throwing sticks.
Okay. God, I forgot about the old man fishing outfit. Okay. Well enough. So you guys get through security. It's even easier this time. The people on guard are the same people, and it makes sense. This is about the same time of day. And apparently, after having more thoroughly checked you the first time, they do a much quicker, lazier job of it the second time. They don't even seem to notice or care about the small magical trinkets that you have on you, Lucas.
Cool.
And you are able to make your way to the designated bar, which I'm sorry, I think I forgot to write it down, but it was a number. I believe it was bar number 4. It was a very bland number.
Yes, it was bar 4. It was bar 4.
And you're able to make your way there a little bit earlier than when you were told to arrive, unless you choose to arrive late. That's up to you guys, of course.
I'm not going to show up late, no.
Okay. This bar is a bit nicer, actually, than the one you were at yesterday. It has fewer neon lights. It's actually got more of a strange, cool gray light that seems to be coming up from the edges of the floor and the bottoms of the booths that kind of casts more of a uniform shade on everything. So there's no bright lights anywhere. It's a very kind of relaxing setting. The bar itself is fairly clean. It has a rather small bar towards the back of the room. And to the right side of the bar, there are about 13 or 14 booths that could fit about 6 people. And they're kind of like the booths you'd expect to find at like a fast food restaurant, where it's just a rectangular table and a booth on each side of it. And on the left side of the bar are several more of the same kind of phone booths that you use to contact Seth, that has a radio in it that's designed to make anonymous radio transmissions.
Okay.
And you guys arrive there. What would you like to do?
I keep my eyes peeled for Seth Geyser and whomever he brought.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to sit at the bar or a booth, or just kind of stand there? Or...
Well, I'd like to scan around.
Mm-hmm.
If they're there already, then I'm going to join them. If they're not, I guess we'll wait at the bar.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see him. You don't see Seth, at least. There's not very many people in the bar at this time. There's about 6 other patrons, including the barkeep, who is a... she looks human. However, she doesn't have any hair. And I mean no hair. No hair, no eyebrows, no nasal hair. I mean nothing. And she's a bit taller than the average human. She has about 3 or 4 inches on Isaac. And other than that, there's a few other people in the bar. Most of them are kind of hard to see because most of them, there's not 2 people together, and most everyone is kind of hunched over their drinks. So you can go up to the bar, and when you get to the barkeep in a very melodic voice will say, "Hello, stranger. Can I get you something to drink?"
Xavier will look around at his companions and he'll give a shrug and say, "Sure, what do you got on special?"
Yes. Today's special is called the Metal Fountain.
And what's in the metal fountain? Hopefully it is not literally metal.
No, it is a rare ale found in a world in the Anvil Galaxy that gives the impression of liquid metal. Have you ever seen mercury?
Roger on that.
It has the same appearance, but is actually quite good.
Is it safe for people like us? And he'll gesture to himself and his human companions to drink?
But of course, it would be bad for business to poison my guests.
Yeah, fair enough. But different walks of life, different diets. You know how it is. When you troll around not troll around the galaxy. When you course around the galaxy, you got to ask these questions. Otherwise, I take one gulp of something I'm not expecting, then boom, dead. Yeah. How much is that? That metallic mercury drink.
It is today's special, so it's only 3 credits.
Well, nothing wrong with trying new horizons for the low cost of 3 credits. I'll take one. Isaac, Lucas? No, sorry, Isaac, you look like you could use a pick-me-up, he says as he gestures to the bags under the cowboy's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Isaac will nod and kind of slowly say, "You got any coffee?"
So you're going to raise an eyebrow at, I don't know what a coffee is either.
She pauses for a moment and she says,
"Stimulant, something to make you wake up. Because I haven't slept in almost 2 days."
She could probably kick you in the ass for like 5 credits if that's your thing.
Isaac will
shoot a snicker.
Isaac will shoot you a dirty look.
She nods and she says, "I do not have this coffee, but I do have something that I think would be suitable for you."
Hmm?
And she pulls out a bottle from underneath the bar. And the bottle itself is see-through. And inside the bottle is what looks to be a clear liquid that it has thick tendrils of a green, almost jelly-like substance. You've seen gummy worms before, right?
Yes.
Imagine this, but they're wiggling around.
And they're actually
awesome.
moving.
Yes, they are actually moving.
Yeah.
And she takes a large, like it looks like a shot glass, but it's about 3 or 4 times the size. And she fills it, and then she pushes it in front of you. And you notice that some of the green wiggling things in it were cut off when she stopped pouring, and just kind of like flooped into your drink. So as far as what it looks like they're made from jello or some sort of gelatin-like substance, but they are moving.
Or these are organic life forms, and you're gonna eat like a whole family.
As a GM, I cannot.
Oh man!
The problem with poplars, dude.
Fucking
with poplars.
ew. Well, Isaac is wearing the ninja mask, so you can't see his face, but he will ask for a straw.
Cute. And you're gonna hear Xavier mutter under his breath. What a newbie.
She doesn't seem fazed by it at all. She nods and deposits a metal straw into the glass. And then she proceeds to pour... she starts to pour a drink for Xavier. Lucas, did you want anything?
Lucas was about to say yes, but is too intrigued about Isaac's reaction to this. His attention is elsewhere.
Okay.
That didn't take long.
Then she's going to pour a glass for Xavier, which, true to what she said, she pours it from, not from a bottle, but what looks like a wooden pitcher. Okay. And it might be wood, it might just be patterned to look like it. But what flows out acts and looks very much like mercury. It has a lot of tension, or and actually kind of starts to beat up as she begins to pour it in there. And she pours you a mug of it. It's not just a small glass, but a full, like beer mug, and pushes it over to you. And it looks exactly like you would expect mercury to look.
All right, Xavier's going to dip a pinky into the beverage and bring it to his lips. What does it taste like?
The closest thing that I could equate it to is it tastes like a little tart raspberry. And it's very strong. So it's a very strong tart flavor of raspberry. And at the very end of it, the kind of aftertaste, if you will, is a little bit metallic, as in, if you ever gotten blood in your mouth or had that copper aftertaste, it gives you that aftertaste.
Well, I am a vampire, so I'm very used to it.
I'm sorry, what?
You guys never looked at his character sheet?
No, I mean, Inferno Canuck, I'm a vampire.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, that. Okay.
Then there's
We're not
no problem.
surprised at that at all.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Yes, this makes much more sense. That we're much less concerned now.
Where were we?
So yes, that's what it tastes like. Very powerful, somewhat tart raspberries with a coppery aftertaste.
Okay. Sweet.
And she pours the drink, and then Lucas, you said that you are. She'll look to Lucas, but if he doesn't acknowledge her at all, she will eventually just go about what she was doing.
Xavier is going to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lucas.
Lucas is not paying attention to her. His eyes are glued to Isaac at the moment.
Well, Isaac, still groggy, is going to try and work the straw underneath the mask so that he can enjoy this drink while not exposing his face. Because we are still wanted.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to do. And you take a drink. And yours tastes strange. Is how I will describe that. The liquid itself, the clear part of it, tastes a little medicine-y, like very faint or mild cough syrup. Or have you ever had liquefied penicillin that they flavored? Like that. It's very faint. It's not overpowering at all. And the green parts, when you've sucked one of those up, they have a very powerful flavor that tastes a lot like sushi meat. But even though it tastes like sushi meat, it falls apart in your mouth as if it was a liquid.
So you're saying it tastes like sashimi?
Yeah, it's like someone stuck a sashimi in a very mild form of cough syrup and you chugged it or sucked it up with a straw.
That's a weird combination.
That's why I started off with it tastes strange.
Oh, jeez.
A kick in the ass for 5 credits probably would have been less awkward.
Probably. Does it actually wake him up, though?
Yes, whether due to the strangeness of the experience or the drink itself, you do feel a bit more alert, a little less droopy.
Okay, then he's going to ask for some water, just to wash it down.
The bartender will nod and say, "Of course," and give you a glass of water. And at about that time, you see Seth walk into the bar. Your old friend. It looks a little bit different than you remember, Inferno. He has cut his hair very short, almost a buzz cut, not quite, but very, very close to his head. And he has dyed it a brilliant red. And he's even grown a red kind of soul patch. You know him well enough to still recognize that it's him, but he does look different.
Okay.
And accompanying him is a figure in a gray cloak or robe. It's hard to tell. It covers most of their figure, and the hood is pulled low over their face. But it has the frame of maybe a 12-year-old. It's not more than 4 feet tall, and it's kind of narrow. It has the frame of an adolescent.
Okie dokie.
And Seth will look around the bar and see you guys at the bar, and he'll walk up and will be followed by this figure, and he will say, you made it. Good. It's good to see you, I guess.
Sure. All things considered, depending on how this all works out, maybe we'll be even happier. But thanks for humoring us and bringing this person.
Yes.
Seth, considering maybe it's best you make introductions.
Perhaps we should go to a booth, and he'll like motion towards the back.
Yeah, sure, lead on.
And he will lead to the. He'll go over to the booth and he'll sit down. Does the figure sit down with him?
Figure?
That would be you, Elor.
She knows. I think.
Uh-oh. I'm assuming you're talking and we can't hear you. Try disconnecting and re-entering. That happens sometimes.
Discord does that sometimes, yeah.
Well,
Lame.
That's it. Campaign over. Yep.
No, I know
Fuck
does
this.
that shit when someone hasn't talked for a really long time.
Oh, that might make sense.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay. Hi.
Okay.
The
Hi.
figure goes with him.
Okay. And he will point to the other side of the booth.
Is this where he wants the figure to sit?
No. You sat, I believe, next to him. He was pointing for Xavier and Isaac and Lucas.
Okay.
Okay. Isaac will
And,
sit down.
As you're sitting down, he will say, "Friends of yours, Xavier? I don't believe I've ever met them." I'm sorry, friends of yours, Philip.
Xavier's gonna blink at him and he's gonna say, "Who's Philip?"
And he kind of rolls his eyes back. Anson?
The shark, Amston.
Yes.
Yeah.
My apologies. I do a lot of.
Fair enough. Well, with all due respect, are names really necessary?
I suppose not.
You know me, that's the important thing. These are friends of mine. That's all that matters.
Fair enough. Then let me get straight to business. First, let me apologize. I was unable to acquire who I had originally told you about. They came down with a bad case of the slit throat. However, that misfortune may be good fortune for us, for I have another under my care who I think would be perfect for the job. And he kind of looks to the figure at his side. Say hello, introduce yourself.
The figure kind of like turns their head towards Seth, then looks over and pulls back the hood in what looks like was meant to be a dramatic motion, but ends up getting caught on one of the back horns that appear. Sitting across from you all is a very small, very fluffy looking DB with large ears and 4 horns and bright gold eyes. And they look at each of you and says, "Hi."
Hello.
Well, okay then.
You see Lucas, like, his smile is just... He always has a tiny smile on, but it's gradually growing the more, like, this creature is moving and things like that.
Xavier will look to this being, this DB, and say, you comfortable giving a name or a call sign or something like that? So we're just not calling you, it or you, for the sake of professionalism.
The DB kind of glances again over at Seth and goes, "Kid."
No, I'm not kidding, Xavier says with a smile.
Seth grins a little bit.
Kid frowns at you and repeats, "Kid."
Oh, you're a kid? Oh, or your name is Kid?
Yes.
Oh, wait. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, I understand different species mature at different rates, but, are you a juvenile of your kind?
They frown.
Hello? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I disconnected there.
Oh.
I heard you saying you frown.
Yeah, they frown at you and kind of go, "My name is Kid." With again a small glance at Seth.
Seth nods and he says, "Unfortunately, I don't know. Well, I don't know their name, and I called them Kid, and it kind of stuck."
Oh, I see. Oh, I know what the problem is. Communication barrier, Xavier says with a confident smile. I've been using trade 4. And then he'll switch to trade 1 and trade 3 and trade 6 and ask is this better in each of the languages?
Kid, you understood 2 of those other than the trade 4.
Kid just continues to frown at you with increasing depth.
All right. I think I think I understand this translation. Xavier says, "Okay, enough about names. Thanks for coming to see us. Thanks, my mutual friend here, Seth. How much has he told you?"
You want me to get a thing?
Correct. Did he say where he wanted this thing to be gotten from? Kid.
Seth kind of coughs. I didn't go over the details yet.
Okay, all right. Then let us indulge in the details. And he'll first raise up his empty glass of metallic. What was it called?
Metal fountain.
Metal fountain. And he'll say, "Bring a picture of that metal fountain. I like it." Before
you hear, even in the distance, it doesn't seem like she raised her voice, but you hear clearly, "Of course, one moment."
Delightful. So first things first, Kid. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We don't need a personal story, but what have been some of your achievements or skills? You seem a little bit of the smaller sort, as far as body size goes. Do you find that to be an advantage or disadvantage to your craft?
I'm not dead, am I?
Okay, yep, that's good. A continuing breathing body is a good sign. That's true. We ourselves are not dead, despite many close calls. And then Xavier will give a laugh. The laugh is clearly a very nervous laugh as he looks over to his
Too many close calls. Too many close calls. Too many close calls. And Isaac's just sitting there shaking his head.
But suffice to say, it's probably because of these close calls we're looking to look for some assistance, of course. How good are you on a scale of, let's use the old galactic scale, a scale of 1 to the sacred number 17. So 1 to 17, 1 being the lowest and 17 being perfect. How good you are at acquiring small objects discreetly?
Kid's going to once again glance at Seth for a split second longer than before, and then go 17.
And Xavier
Seth
will
nods.
raise both his. Okay, because Xavier was going to look over at Seth, and then he's going to really give a smile. And he says, "Okay, sacred number 17, perfect. Okay, that's good." Now, Seth also mentioned that your price for any sort of possible employment depends on the difficulty of the task. Yes?
Before Kid could answer, Seth goes, "Oh, well, I mean, you and I, we can handle the price. Kid doesn't need to worry so much about the details. Well," and then he kind of pauses and kind of like covers his hand, kind of towards you. "I'm not even sure if it's a he or she, but they work for me, so we can handle that ourselves."
All right, but Seth, Xavier says as Amston, we had a conversation and you said the price was dependent on the skill, and who's going to know if they can do it if we don't ask them?
You see him like sweating a little bit, and he goes, "Well, that was before when I thought that I had someone else in mind."
Oh, they're dead. Xavier
Yes.
says, "That's the person who has the case of the slit throat?
Yes.
This isn't the person. So this is second best, the one that's still alive?"
No. He looks at Kid. No, they're not second best. They're 17.
Well, they're 17. Yeah, okay, all right. Then fine, Xavier says. He clasps his fingers together. Enough of this pussyfooting around. And he'll fold his hands together and he'll lean over the table. And he'll wait for the server to leave after filling up, bringing over a jug.
Mhm.
And as he pours himself a new glass of this metallic brew, he'll say, "All right, this is extremely risky, but for a 17, I'm sure it's very possible, and you will be extremely well rewarded, regardless of what price is negotiated. Are you aware of a certain exclusive market on Center that is, well, frankly, organized and run by the Splagorth?"
Sure, who hasn't heard
Okay,
of that?
good. Now we are looking to acquire a small metallic box that has some very important information on it. Now I understand the market is extremely large, and even for a 17, it could take quite some time to find it. Thankfully, though, we have created a device that is able to measure gravitational pulls, which can act as a rudimentary detector for this thing. We would like to hire you to, since you are clearly non-human and more of an exotic aesthetic, you'll probably be able to blend in a little bit more with the Splagorth marketplace. And we want you to find this object and to retrieve it for us. It is extremely important. What do you say?
For what seems like the billionth time, Kid will glance over at Seth and then look at Xavier and then stick a very small hand out as if this has been practiced many times. But it's still very awkward.
You'll notice that the hand is tipped in fairly large claws for the size of Kid.
All right, Xavier is going to slowly extend his hand and he's going to say, "Are we shaking? Are we shaking hands now? I hope we're shaking hands." as his hand moves over to the little giant clawed thing, as he takes a couple of the claws and maybe like his finger and thumb over top the teeny, it would be adorable hand if it didn't have claws attached to it. He gives it a little shake. There we go. Deal. Yeah.
As you're shaking hands, you feel At first, it's very limp, and then it's just a solid grip. Not crushing, but like the pads of the fingers are just clasped on your hand, and you're not sure you could get your hand back.
Xavier will give a big, charming smile and say, "And we're done shaking now. We are done shaking now." And you can feel his hand go limp as he's trying to pull it away. Will you let me have my hand back?
Kid will release it with
Okay.
a small, confused look, like, yes, this is what is supposed to happen.
Good. Xavier will give a smile and say, "Well, fantastic. If you'd like, we can go into some more specific details as to the specifications of what we're looking for. I've taken the liberties of drawing up a small model of it. It's mostly theoretical, but Xavier will bring up his hollow computer and he'll say, these are the dimensions of it. This is the general shape. Metallic, smooth, very distinct." And he'll look over to Isaac and say, Did you bring the detector?
Isaac puts what looks like a kind of a gun here. I actually have a picture that I'll put in Discord for you guys. It looks kind of like a device with a screen on it. And he will kind of place it on the table. It's about 9 inches long by 3 inches deep and 3 inches wide.
Okay. He says, this is the detecting device. Unfortunately, we do not know which region it is in the market. We could perhaps also provide some encrypted radio communications, although it's probably safe for you to communicate once you're outside the market. I'm not too sure what the counterintelligence capabilities of the Splagorth are, but considering they're one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy, I'm going to assume it's pretty good.
Kid's gonna nod slightly, looking at the device and go, yeah, sure.
You are quite cavalier, aren't you, kid?
Seth pipes up, that's just confidence. She's
well, she's a 17
Seth looks very
after all.
uncomfortable as he tries to say a pronoun, and he goes, they're very confident, aren't you, kid?
Yeah.
I have a question for for Isaac, Xavier, and Lucas. Would you have Cyber 6 come along? We didn't really discuss it before, but would you feel he would be there, or would he have stayed on the ship with Hart?
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm neutral
cool
on the idea too. It would make sense. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I guess it's safe.
Yeah.
I don't see any risk of having him come along.
Okay.
No one really knows who he is with all this. So yeah, I'd say he'd be with us.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say he's just been sitting quietly this whole time. He, for the first time, will pipe up. He'll tip his sombrero back a little bit. And kid, you see, maybe for the first time, that there is a robotic figure underneath the sombrero and poncho. And he'll pipe up for the first time and he'll say, and he's looking straight at Kid, but he's kind of like talking to his side of the table. The more I think about this, maybe I should tag along. I could visually confirm the item if Kid finds it, and I could always stay out of the way while Kid does what Kid does.
And if she has a problem, you can do your Hail... Oh, wait, no. I don't want to say Hail Mary. That's an Earth term, and Xavier isn't from Earth. Oh, wait. I love making up shit. You can do your Flargian Pass, and... I sound like an episode of Rick and Morty. Where they're just like, I'm Mr. Flippy Nips. That's
Cyber's
like
eyes,
you need a Shoopy Duke and a Smooky Duke at the same party.
Cyber 6's eyes actually flare with purple light, and he goes, I actually know what that means.
There you go.
You understood that
don't you-
reference. Congratulations. It's the first time. First time, everybody. I'm tired.
Cyber 6's eyes narrow at Isaac.
So does Xavier's and say, your sleep deprivation is making you into an ass. Anywho,
I need
yes,
to sleep.
yes, clearly you do. But Xavier will say to Cyber 6, regardless, you'd be able to be a last-ditch effort in retrieving the item and maybe protecting, Kid. As long as you're comfortable. I mean, are you certain the Splagorth? I mean, you're part of a pretty significant organization. Are you sure they don't know who you are? Or that your previous companions might have tipped them off?
I can never say for certain, but one failing of Simmons, and they are rare, but there, is his overconfidence. I'm willing to place money on the fact that Simmons thinks we're all very, very dead, and I don't think he would see a need to tell them.
How much money do you want to bet on that? Xavier says with a smile.
10
Cyber
credits.
6 considers for a second. He says, I'd place 10,000 credits on that.
See, if I'm right, though, then we're dead. This is a win-win situation for you. So
And he
no, I
says-
won't take that bet.
Cyber 6 nods. And he says, and if they do recognize that I'm a Corsair, unlikely as it is, given... And he looks to Seth, the situation. Our treaty legally allows me to enter their territory unhindered if I am hunting a bounty.
Xavier will raise an eyebrow and he'll say, the Splagorth didn't get into their position by honoring treaties, but you'll know more about that than I do. I've just heard rumors around, the old intergalactic drinking hole. All right. Well then, shall we secure you both a shuttle? As he looks over to Cyber 6 and Kid to Center to be, the sooner the better. If you think you're prepared there, Kid.
Has the device been handed over to Kid yet, or is it still in Isaac's hand?
Oh,
I
it's
reckon
on
he-
the table. You can just grab it.
Yeah, he put on the table. Yeah.
Okay. Kid would be sort of like turning it over, examining it, and then just kind of look up, just like.
What you do is you press the button, and then it sends out a pulse, and then you'll get feedback if the item's in front of you or.
I'll step in for a second. Considering it's an item built by Heart, it's not the most simple item in the world, so Isaac would have to explain a bit. However, surprisingly, Kid picks up on it extremely quickly. You only have to explain it once, and Kid knows exactly how to repeat the process.
She is a 17.
Maybe we should just name her 17.
No, we should let her name her what her character is. But
I know.
This will be a good inside joke if we don't drive it into the ground.
Yes.
I mean, you're the one on the horse, so.
Well, yeah.
Her name is Felicity. Oh, you said horse. Okay, never mind.
And Seth says, "Kid, I think it's okay to lose the cloak now, if you want."
Cloak.
Kid immediately pulls it off and tosses it at him. Okay.
When Kid removes the cloak, I'm gonna put up a picture here. You see, Kid is actually just covered in fur, not wearing any clothing of any kind.
She's not the only race. I mean, the only species to do that.
Has and the best way to describe it is a mixture of all kinds of different animals.
She's a chimera.
Very similar to that. And with that, Cyber 6 says, "Okay, so how do we want to stay in contact?"
Well, is there considering I was able to get a well-encrypted radio feed, out to Seth here from this base, I figure, we'll do the same thing. You could maybe be our radio man, so we're not distracting Kid.
You can equip encrypt radio. Yes, right?
Yes.
I can do you one better than that. I can act as a, should we say hub? You transmit the signal to me, and I can then rebroadcast the signal to Kid, making it very difficult for anyone trying to track the signal to tell where it goes after it reaches me. However, unfortunately, there's not much I can do before the signal reaches me.
Gotcha. All right, how it works. We'll see how well that Corsair's technology runs through your mechanical veins, so to speak. Well, I reckon we have ourselves a plan.
Isaac will stare intently at Xavier. Did you really just say that?
Oh God, you're running off on me. Oh God, I used the word God. Oh jeez, you are rubbing off on me, he says with a snicker.
I think both of us need a good night's rest.
Oh no, I'm very well rested, Xavier says confidently.
You said the C word.
Confidently? Oh, what? She's gonna find out anyway, and she doesn't know what the hell we're talking about.
I'm more concerned about this guy.
Do you, Kid? Xavier says with a smile. Most of this is probably like Snargolfrian, right?
Isaac is still staring.
See? She doesn't understand. Xavier says with a confident smile. Suffice to say, well then, shall we secure you to a shuttle then?
Yes. Quickly, out of character, DM.
Mm-hmm.
We have those encrypted broadcasters on the ship, right?
The encrypted broadcasters?
We have a way to encrypt our radio transmissions, right? If I recall correctly, you did mention
are you talking
that
about Cyber 6's gift?
No, we're talking about the Naruni gift.
No,
Oh,
no, I'm not talking about that. I remember you mentioning that we had a way, because it's a slider, that we were able to encrypt our radio communications. Because it's a slider that we have.
Yes, the slider's radio itself has the ability to encrypt radio communications, yes.
Of course, you need someone who has the skill who's able to do that, but I have Radio Scrambler like a bazillion %.
Yeah, I only bring it up because it's the difference between actually, chilling on the ship or chilling in this bar for the next X hours.
Well, this bar's fine. Or the other bar.
I will let you know, Xavier, you know that there is slightly better there's advantages to kind of both sides in the sense that the encryption on the slider is a little bit stronger. In other words, it's harder to break.
Crack. Yeah.
But the radios at the bars like this is like making a call from a payphone.
Exactly.
You might be able to track it to a payphone, but that's not going to tell anyone anything.
They'd have to do more investigation. Xavier says, listen, if the scrambler does get cracked, then they'll be able to trace it directly to our ship, as compared to a booth that anyone can use. I'd rather use the ones that are provided here, frankly.
Okay.
I mean, at least it gives us a chance for a speedy exit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well then, Xavier says as he begins to stand up and shuffle over past the booth. Any last things we should go over?
Seth shakes his head and he says, no, I'm sure we can come to an agreement on price as they do it or after.
Sure. Well, you can come and join me at the bar here, Seth. We'll have ourselves a few more drinks and we can haggle over price.
Sure. That sounds like a fine idea.
Great. And just a moment, though. I want to have a quick aside here with my friend as he rests a hand on Lucas's shoulder, and he says,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry. Do you have a moment to talk there, Grandpa?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so Xavier's going to take him off to kind of one corner. He's going to look around. And he says, "You're the only one," he'll give a bit of a smile, "who probably would take this action. Have you noticed how much that kid thing keeps looking at Seth? Have you noticed that?
It's really the only thing that I can notice.
And how Seth is absolutely adamant on negotiating the price? You know what I think? I think that's just a robotic controlled unit controlled by Seth. And he's trying to get the money for himself. Do you want to take that bet? Or I'm just wondering your thoughts on the matter."
You know, I was thinking the other way around, but
Whoa. You think that oh my goodness, you're right. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, how about this? You got 20,000 credits on you? Not like right now, but like on your person.
oh yeah, I have that on me. For here.
Okay. So how about we take a bet, okay?
Hmm.
I bet that Seth is controlling Kid, and you bet that Kid is controlling Seth. And if either of us wins, we get the other's money. And if both of us are right, then we split it. And both of us are wrong, well, we don't lose any money.
Lucas just shrugs and goes, "Deal." Puts
right.
out his hand.
Xavier will shake on it and say, "Okay, Seth, we're ready." And all of a sudden you can tell that like Xavier is going to like this is what he's gonna do. He's gonna like slide between Seth and the kid, take a quick look between them, and then I want to do a pickpocket to cruise through Seth's pockets to see if I can't find like a controller chip or something like that.
Okay, sure. Just one thing to let you know: when you shook hands and then you turned back to Seth, you see Seth talking to Kid. You see, that's how you handshake.
Kid just kind of tilts their head and goes, "Are you sure?"
I promise you, yes, that is how you do it.
While he's distracted, I want to go through his
Yes,
pockets.
do a pickpocket check.
All right. I fail by 6.
Seth, this might not be very surprising to Xavier, but Seth, not even really looking, slaps Xavier on the wrist and says, almost like distractedly, "Stop it." Yes,
What?
that's how you shake hands.
Jesus. Xavier says, "I just didn't want to pay for the drinks. I was going for your cred chip."
He will then glance at Xavier with one eye and say, "This is me we're talking about."
Okay, great. Then you can tell me. We'll learn so much about each other while we're having a drink, Xavier says with a smile. Wait, that counted out kind of, But that's not what I mean.
Whoa.
Kid's watching you with a very odd expression.
I'll be at the bar, Xavier says as he goes up. He's taking the picture of that metallic booze with him.
Everyone roll me a just roll me a d20.
Included?
Not you, Kid. Sorry.
You're not everyone.
What?
You're
Sorry.
not a
I
person.
want to make a character called Everyone, so when Squee says things like that, it'll confuse me. I'll be a high-five character.
None of your characters have enhanced hearing, correct?
No.
Not you, Kid. Again.
Oh, wait. Give me a moment. Once again, you're not everyone. Let me check. Cyber disguise. No, it's just a disguise. I can imitate voices and shit, but I don't have... No, I'm not cybered up any other way. I'm good.
And Isaac and Lucas, I assume you guys don't either?
Hell no.
You would be correct.
Okay.
Huh? What?
Seth, none of you three hear this, but Seth, he leans in close to you, Kid, and he says, "And see, that is not a bad attempt at picking pockets."
The odd expression shifts ever so slightly as they watch Xavier walk towards the bar with the jug.
I don't like him.
Xavier, you'll
Yes.
hear Lucas go, not on the first date.
It's not. Xavier will roll his eyes. You say, "Don't you have fish to catch?"
Yeah, what? I see a well off the... He's gonna go waddling back to the seat.
There you go. Shut him up.
Do you still have that picture? I think Alora needs to see your costume.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, okay, then okay, good. Good.
Piph shows everyone, even people who don't know anything about this campaign.
So Seth, while you're doing that, Seth will be arranging transportation on a local shuttle.
And as he's arranging transportation, Kid is kind of pulling on his coat, just like, is that one okay? He doesn't seem right.
And like again, kind of distracted. It's like, who? What?
Oh, he's just a ninja.
And I assume you were pointing to Isaac, yes?
No.
It's kind of divided between Isaac and Lucas. You can't really tell which one they're pointing at.
Oh, I'm the normal one. Thank you. Thank you.
Seth would go, what? What? Who? Yeah, they're fine. He says he doesn't look like he's convinced himself.
Isaac's
he goes
head
back
will
to-
hit the table so hard it creates a hard thunk as he passes out.
Cyber 6 will take off his sombrero and put it on Isaac's head.
The whale
Sure
as
beans.
big as a spaceship. His eyes were beady.
This is why I didn't want to give names.
So it takes a few minutes to arrange transportation, and Seth will look up cheerfully and he'll say, next one is in 5 minutes. Actually, you'll need to hurry a little bit, but it's Bay 36, just about 300 meters that direction. He points to a direction. It's a big yellow shuttle. Just tell them that you're with what did I put this under? He starts like scrolling through
Scrolling through an unrelated sheet for no reason. Perfectly normal. Perfectly normal.
He's scrolling through the same data pad and he says, Frank Purple? Huh.
Frank Purple.
Right, Frank Purple. And he looks over at Xavier and gives like this knowing shrug. And you know Seth well enough to know that he has so many identities.
Well, that would do it. Xavier resists a snark, saying, "Are you sure it's Frank Purple and not Charlie Orange?" But he doesn't say that. He just thinks it.
And Cyber 6 will stand up, take his sombrero back, put it on his head, and look at Kid and go, well, shall we go do some thieving?
Kid looks up, hops off the stool, becoming immediately shorter, and starts trotting off with the machine.
Okay. Cyber 6 walks away with Kid in tow. They're about like abreast, like side by side. What is the group doing?
Well, Xavier wants to have a nice little chat with his old pal Seth.
Okay.
Do
Seth,
you want to do that now?
sure. Seth will walk over to the bar, and he'll sit down in the. Hang on a second. He'll sit down in the bar stool next to you, and he'll say, "Metal fountain, please."
There you go. So, Xavier, say, I have some of mine. Save yourself the credits as he pours himself a drink from his pitcher, and he says, so business before pleasure. Let's talk about fee. I'm surprised you didn't ask for anything up front, frankly.
Well, the truth of the matter is that Kid is a bit naive to the world.
Xavier was going to start to say robotic, and then but he'll stop when he says naive, and he'll say, oh, okay, yeah.
He says, I'm not sure how old Kid actually is, but And they're incredibly smart and agile, but they don't
Mhm.
seem to know much about the world around them. Hell, half what I pay them just sits in a pile in their room.
Oh, probably for. Oh, I see. Xavier says, and like all these things that he says, he's like, "This is adding up. This is all adding up." And he says, "Well, maybe, there's something hidden in their memory banks."
He looks at you, like, does like a double take.
Oh, come on, you can tell me. You can tell me. Where'd you buy it?
You know I don't deal in slavery. Come on.
No. The robot.
It's your robot, he says, pointing to Cyber 6 as he leaves.
He's not a robot. He's an android. Is yours an android?
What? No. No,
What?
he pauses for a second as if considering. I think so.
See? You don't think? Okay. Anywho, Xavier says, we were talking about price before we started talking about robots.
Yeah. He shakes his head, like kind of like clearing the thoughts, and said, "Yes. So my point is, I was afraid negotiating with Kid there might ask for an unreasonable price, and that would reflect badly upon me. I figured.
So you're like her agent, his agent, its agent. Have you still haven't figured out what's underneath all that?
He shakes his head and he's like, I have no idea, and I'm just going with them or Kid.
Them.
Kid works.
Kid.
He has his
work.
hands up like in slight confusion.
Yeah, fair enough. He says, I've heard of like 17 different genders. After all, the Thacalians of Late Earth 7, my goodness, they're like asexual.
Yeah.
Except one in like it eclipses and then they split up into a million different things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you had told me that before I got drunk, I would have appreciated it, old friend.
Well, whatever. It was funny. Xavier says. It was so, funny beats. Anyway.
Fair enough. Look,
Price.
This isn't the thief I promised you, but
No.
Kid is exceptional at the job. I figure instead of the job being based upon the difficulty of it, we go for an even split. Call it a flat 5 million. That way, if it's harder than that, you get a bargain. And if it's less than that, for what you're looking for, it's still a good price.
So blanket 5 million, no wiggle room. So you're gonna get 2.5 mil, and it's gonna get 2.5 mil.
Something like that, yeah.
Xavier gives a grin and he says, "You're a foxy one. All right, that seems fair. But how about this? Since we're old friends, I pay you after the job. And if things go horribly and Kid is no more, then I'll only give you a finder's fee for setting up this meeting. Old pal, price 100,000 credits. How's that sound?"
That seems reasonable. You, of course, don't mind if I hang around until they're done, do you?
Of course not. Then you'll get paid right away.
Seems like the best idea.
Mm-hmm. So, robot things aside, since that's still up in the air, Xavier says, hopefully, where did you find Kid?
Well, interesting story, that.
Great.
I found Kid, believe it or not, standing in the middle of the trade market. Just standing there, looking at people. It was the oddest thing. Most everyone there is doing something. Kid was just standing there, looking at people.
Okay. And so you thought, hey, I'll approach this person and offer them a job?
More like I was looking for someone to talk to so that I seemed busy while a certain group of people passed by.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they seemed intelligent enough, said that...
No, they could speak trade 3. And by the sounds of it, trade 4 and maybe trade 6.
I'm not so sure about the trade 6, but Kid's very good at guessing.
Hand gestures? Oh, guessing. I see.
Yeah. Smart as a whip, that one.
Really?
But no, I saw how nimble and dexterous it was, and it clearly has very, very well trained in certain arts that I find useful.
Uh-huh.
Offered them a job. Been
So
looking
what-
after him ever since.
Okay, so what kind of pedigree has made you determine that this is a 17, you know? Has he done a lot of jobs for you?
Oh,
Sorry, has Kid done a lot of jobs for you?
a dozen or so.
Okay, all of them successful?
Um, yes, all of them.
See, I don't like that pause. I do not like that pause. But it's your money on the line, I guess.
He kind of hesitates. He says, "Not all of them quiet, but all of them successful."
Xavier says, you know, you don't say a woman is a little bit pregnant. She's either pregnant or she isn't. Either it was successful or it wasn't.
The
So,
item was
what was it?
acquired, and look at it this way: in case there's a scuffle, Kid knows how to handle themselves.
Oh, I see. So she succeeded in the mission, but was not always using the covert approach.
An odd one, that one, but as I said, always successful.
Got one hell of a grip on it, that's for sure.
I saw her crush someone's hand once when we tried to teach her how to handshake.
Oh, well, I'm glad you figured that out before we made introductions, Xavier says with a flat face.
He nods. Yes, it could be very embarrassing in business deals, indeed.
Xavier will give us. He'll continue to engage in some small chat with Seth while they drink, but other than that, there's nothing else I need in regards to.
With that, he'll actually say, "So I know names aren't important, but seriously, your friends are a little. I mean, that one's fully dressed in. Where's the old man?" He looks around for Lucas, not seeing him anywhere.
Oh, he's probably looking for whales.
Oh, is that? I mean, I don't. Well, okay, I guess he was off on his
Seth,
own.
We're good friends, right? So,
Sure.
you know, I can trust you with a lot of things, like, say, the identities of, well, all my personas. There are other things I will not say, not because I don't trust you, but because we're friends and I want to protect you. Knowing their names won't make much of a difference except abate your curiosity, and trust me, the less you know, the better. I know, it sounds like a super secret thing, but as I mentioned before, this whole CCW deal, I'll give you a hint. They work with the CCW. They're agents. They were here to monitor the negotiation. And they act like that because, well, from what I can understand, they're really unconventional. They feel, at least the little bits I picked up, is that there are two tactics. You can either make someone your friend and try to invoke their trust, or you can act really strange and see how the other party reacts. Either way, you get a gauge on them.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So, I mean, do you really want to get wrapped up on this, or do you just want to make a lot of money?
No, you know me. I'm much happier to take the money and not ask the questions.
Yeah, exactly. Ignorance is bliss. But, like I said, big payday coming. So thanks for all your help. Hopefully all this will work out. If not, well, we'll take another crack at her, I guess.
I guess. And with that, he'll hold his mug up and take a drink.
Okey-dokey.
Scene?
Yeah, scene. And
Okay.
scene.
And is Isaac still asleep on the table?
Isaac
I am
is
waking
softly snoring at the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if you guys don't mind, I'm going to cut over to Kid and Cyber.
Go nuts.
You guys, well, Cyber 6 doesn't say much to you on the way to the shuttle. You can talk to him if you'd like.
Kid's ready to get onto the shuttle and get going.
Okay.
They aren't
You get
doing
on.
much.
All action.
You get to the shuttle. It's a bright yellow shuttle, and Cyber 6 gives the name of Frank Purple. They're allowed on. And the shuttle is empty of passengers. The pilot is in a separate compartment up in the front. So basically, you're in like a passenger bay. It's very small. It's got seats kind of on, running down both sides, so the seats are facing each other. And Cyber 6 sits in one chair and kind of, politely motions for you to take a seat on the other side.
Kid will take the seat and kind of stare, not stare, but sort of glance between the machine and Cyber 6. Just kind of like, it looks like there's a question, but there's no question being said. So they just keep looking back down at the device like, yes, this is an interesting thing.
You notice that as the shuttle takes off and starts headed down towards center, Cyber 6 is staring at you I would say unblinkingly, but he doesn't blink, but unendingly. He's got his arms crossed under his poncho, his sombrero tilted back a bit, and he's just staring at you.
Kid's finally going to sort of scrunch their nose at him and go, what?
Are you a thief?
Yes.
You don't strike me as a thief.
I take things that makes
well,
me a thief.
that sounds
Almost
like a very...
defensively.
Cyber 6 thinks for a second, says, that sounds very textbook. You looked at Seth a lot before answering my friend's questions. I am curious. Are you a thief because you feel you're a thief, or are you a thief because Seth told you you're a thief?
Kid frowns and thinks for a moment and then looks very pointedly at Cyber 6 and goes, I've been taking things since before I was with Seth. So that means I was a thief before I was with Seth.
Did you take them quietly? Did people see you do it?
Not every time.
A robotic eyebrow raises. And the times they did see you?
I still got it.
I see. Well, I suppose that would fit the definition. I'm just concerned. I'm not a fan when things don't go according to plan. Maybe you're as good as you say you are. Maybe not. I'm being a bit rude. I'm sorry. He says, almost kind of changing his tone. It's been a very difficult few days for me, and this job is vital.
Okay. They say, just kind of not quite sure how else to respond.
I will explain what I can. The chances that anyone in the Splagorth market will know who I am or recognize what I am is unlikely. However, the truth of the matter is, the less of a spectacle I make of myself, the better. So, if it's all right with you, I'm going to let you handle all the talking and simply shadow you in case you need help.
Fine.
If we get a ping on the device, find it, talk to whoever's selling it, see if you can't buy me some time to verify it's what we need. And then after that, he shrugs, you're the thief.
How quickly do we need this thing?
We don't need it in the next 10 minutes, but I can promise you this from what I know of Splagorth. the less time you spend in their sector, the better. You may not be human, but that doesn't mean everyone there will respect your freedom.
For a
Spligorth.
moment,
Mhm.
just a split moment, Kid's expression darkens, and then it goes vaguely irritated and goes, "I'll be fine."
Noticing the small expression, Cyber 6 like rests, makes a like a clasps his hands together and rests them on his knees and rests the chin on his hand, and he says, "Do you know much about the Spligorth?"
Hesitating just a little bit, Kid sort of goes, "Everyone knows about the Spligorth."
Yes, but what many people may not know is that they are primarily slavers, and they are very, very cruel to the people they catch. So, for your sake, be very careful.
With a great deal more confidence, they go, "They won't catch me."
Cyber 6 nods to himself as if he's decided something, and then sits back up and he says, "Well, then I will shadow you, and if it comes to it, I will do everything I can to prevent that as well." I like you, kid. You're straight, to the point, blunt. It's rare these days to find someone like that.
Kid just sort of nods, but with a frown, and goes back to looking at the device.
All right. After Isaac's instruction and your exploration of it, you're pretty confident you've got this thing down. It transmits a gravity wave particle of some kind, and if it hits a certain element that repulses gravity, it will bounce back to the sensor almost like a radar, and it will ping. And you understand perfectly how to use it. So, it takes about a good hour to get from the space station back down to center and land in one of the hangars on level 2. Does anyone at any time want to do anything during this hour?
Aside from getting smashed.
Sleep.
Yeah, aside from sleeping or getting smashed.
Yeah, no, I have nothing special I would like to do.
I will regenerate some ISP. There you go.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Lucas?
I will continue.
Okay. After about an hour, the shuttle lands in one of the docking bays of Center. Cyber 6 and Kid step out of the shuttle and begin making their way to Trade Center 3, which takes about another half hour, and they make their way to the Spligorth sector of it. Now, I'm going to move back over to Center.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of question marks there because no one from the party would touch that area with a 10-foot pole because most of them are humanoids, and Spligorth don't get along with humanoids. But in Center, Center is a very, very large station on the planet called Center, where each level is the size of a city, and half of level 3 is what's called the Spligorth Trading Post. Cyber 6 will pass the time telling you what he does know about the place, which is that it is a huge marketplace where anything can be bought and sold. Oftentimes illegal things or very disturbing things such as slavery, weapons that have been outlawed in many places, items of great power and evil intent. He also describes that there is something called the Blood Bowl, which is a gladiatorial combat arena that the Spligorth hold and spend quite a bit of money on. And all the fights there are to the death, preferably the more violent, the better. and that this is also where many of the high-ranking Splagorth in the area reside in their mansions and things of that sort. Does
Sounds
Kid
like a
have
great Friday night.
Cyber 6 nods. You are free to enter the Splagorth trading post. There's not really a guard or anything. There is like a wall that divides the two, and there are guards, but those guards are on the open market side of the station. And they don't hinder anyone going through your direction. They just stop people coming out the other way. So you're able to walk straight through without any issues whatsoever. And the second you pass through the wall, things get much different. Things get very different. You step almost into another world. You were in a world full of kind of dirty, dark neon lights and hustle and bustle. And then you step into a world that is just as busy, just as loud, just as populated, but it feels dark, oppressive. There are creatures that even that you've never seen before, littering the street. There are wretches and beggars sitting on the sides, chained to walls, and there are every 100 feet or so there is some Katani in power armor or body armor standing guard over something. About this time, Cyber 6 starts tapping something on the side of his head, and Xavier, one of the well, we didn't actually say how you guys would contact. We'll say that one of the phone booths would ring, if that's okay with you.
Sure, works for me.
Okay.
Xavier, does someone else want to pick this up, by the way?
Not I.
Well, Isaac's asleep,
Okay,
and Lucas is not
All
well.
right. Oh, yeah. Great. Then I will. Yeah, then I'll pick it up.
Okay. Cyber 6 will go, are you reading me?
That depends. Are you our mutual friend that has a 6 in his name?
Yes, and I believe you're the shark.
Yes. Yep. I can hear you pretty clear.
Well, good. We're in, and it's just as delightful as I imagined it would be.
Oh. I can sense the sarcasm from here.
Oh, really? It wasn't too subtle. He says, like, even more sarcastically, and then immediately goes, sorry, just long day.
I see. Well, how are things going? Are you just confirming that you've arrived?
Yes, I was going to stay in constant contact. And as he does this, he actually holds a hand out towards Kid, as if he wants to put something in your hands.
Kid stares at it and then holds out a hand.
It's a small, what looks like an earbud, but it's not connected to anything, and it's the same color as Cyber 6's dark purple frame. And he motions towards the side of his head with a finger and taps it.
Kid slowly puts it towards their ear and then inserts it hesitantly.
When you insert it, you hear Cyber 6's voice coming from the microphone and from his voice as well. It says, all right, Kid should be able to talk to you now.
After a couple of seconds of silence, Kid goes, oh, hi.
Xavier?
Oh, that's me? Oh,
yeah, he's talking.
I can read you.
So, and Cyber 6 says, all right, so we'll stay in contact. In fact, we can stay in constant contact. just in case things go bad. Obviously, I don't know what you could do from there, but if things go really bad, you can have a head start.
Okay. Well, hopefully that won't be the case.
Yes. And with that, you and Cyber begin walking through the marketplace. You very quickly come across all kinds of shops. Now, there is a mass of stalls that are selling all kinds of things, from small furry animals that apparently are being sold as food, even though they're still alive, to very, very pathetic looking humans and human-like DB that are chained together in a line where they're being sold at a kiosk like they're at a mall. Like, basically, they're being treated like a cell phone kiosk at a mall. Very cheap, and you see lots of signs that say cheap slaves here. You also see several storefronts where there seems to be higher quality merchandise and goods within them, but it's difficult to tell from where you are in the street. What would you like to do, kid?
I would like to turn on the device.
Okay. You turn on the device, and it doesn't actually make any noise, but the screen lights up, and you see on the screen like a green pulse every few seconds. And Cyber 6 says, we're looking for what they call an AAG. It opens up a microscopic wormhole. It'll be a box small enough for you to carry in your hands. Well, you might need both hands, but it can be any color, but it'll be a box.
Kid nods and starts wandering around, sort of trying to keep one eye on the screen and one eye up so that they aren't ramming into anyone, and very visibly trying not to look at the people who are chained and being sold.
Okay. Give me a second. It takes about 45 minutes of you wandering through the Splagorth trading post. And I will say this. In that time, you've seen more I'm not going to say what your character would consider atrocities, but what the average person would consider atrocities in that 45 minutes than you've seen in a very long time. People getting into knife fights and murdering each other in the streets and no one doing anything about it. The guards that are posted everywhere don't seem to bat an eyelash. Some of them even laugh and cheer them on, so they seem to be there for other purposes. People sold as slavery. People robbed nonchalantly. And it does generally seem like a very lawless, brutal place. The ceiling up above you, which is about a good 60 feet or so up above you, is coated with what looks like it's a black paint, but you know how there's glossy paint and there's matte paint?
Mm-hmm.
This is very matte. It seems like it absorbs the light. It makes it very hard to see. It almost looks as if you look up above you, you see pure blackness. It's very similar to when you're in the void.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not necessarily going to catch their attention. They're just trying to keep an eye out. In fact, a lot of the more gruesome stuff is just kind of not even shaken off. It's just kind of like, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay. After that, about 45 minutes. Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys.
Okay.
secret typing.
Secret typing.
Yes.
So after
Snore.
after about that 45 minutes, you get a ping on your radar device. And you see a little green symbol a little bit off to your right. Following it for a little bit, you see a storefront, a fairly enclosed storefront. There's no, the windows seem to be darkened out. There is an actual metal door to it. And above it, it's the sign that says, Fams, Oddities, and Wonders.
Kids' ears immediately shoot up and they go this way and just take off in that direction.
Got it. Cyber 6 will follow you. It's fairly quickly, probably surprised as you suddenly have spring in your step, given how nonchalantly you've been acting up until that point. And you arrive at the storefront. Do you enter the store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you enter the store. I'm going to go ahead and hang on. I'm going to move everyone back to the space station part because I have a little white area down here. And when you enter the store, it is overcrowded with shelves of what look like junk. Most of it looks like pitted and rusted armor, jewels that might be real, might be fake. They're so dirty and dull. It's hard to tell. What might be a few weapons, and then items that you don't even recognize. But they are so overflowing that even the aisles, you have to kind of step around these items. The aisles themselves come up to about your chest, which so say about 3 feet. And they'd go to about Cyber's waist. So they're very short aisles. And many of the shelves look as if they were made for a creature about your size. When you enter the store, it's very easy to see that there are 2 Broadkill demons, which are fairly large for human-sized demons that are both carrying weapons, and they're sitting there with their arms crossed and just looking around. And when you enter in, one of them looks at you, looks up and down, and says, "Don't cause trouble."
Fine. And they just continue in, just like looking down at the thing, like, okay, where is it?
All right. And as you're doing that, you're starting to kind of get a beat on it. It's like towards the back of the store, and you're starting to head that direction. And you hear this, yes, wonderful. And this, a DB walks up to you, a little bit taller than Kid, but by like an inch or two. And
oh boy.
Yeah, he is completely bald. He has pointy ears and a very stub nose, and he's wearing very flamboyant robes. And these robes flow down his whole body, and you see one of his arms is a long hand with 3 fingers and a thumb that end in small claws, and the other arm is a very long whip-like tentacle. And he curls his tentacle around his hand and he says, "What can I sell you today?" Please.
Kid immediately just, the ears that were just upright and perked just go flat at the sound of his voice, and they go, yes, I am here to peruse.
Excellent. Perusing is my favorite. Perhaps I can interest you in some of the finest comedian silk ever. Slave! As he snaps his fingers, a very small, maybe a foot tall, it looks like maybe a goblin, except it's one of the ugliest goblins you've ever seen, and its mouth is circular. And it is truly one of the ugliest creatures you can remember in recent history. It waddles up quickly and holds out a ream of silk to Fame. And Fame like whips it with a tentacle and says, "Not me, you idiot! Them!" And the little goblin-like creature flinches from the blow and then waddles over to you and holds up the silk.
Kid looks down at the silk and then kind of hands the device over to Cyber 6.
Cyber will take it.
And then they just kind of like tilt their heads like in a this is interesting way, but also a go do your thing kind of way.
Mm. The little goblin, despite its shortness, looks up at you with its eyes, and maybe it's smiling, trying to placate you. Hard to tell with that mouse, but it definitely has a very submissive face. And after a few seconds of Kid making that face, Fame says, "Obviously, you're a person of taste, not silk. Of course not silk." And then he kind of cracks his tentacle onto the back of the little goblin slave, and he says, away. And the goblin slave yelps out in pain. You can see it's actually leaving little welts on the goblin. And it scurries off, and Fame says, "Perhaps you would like to tell me what I can do for you?" And at this time, Cyber 6 is kind of perusing around with the motion, with the gravity detector.
What kind of weapons do you have?
All kinds of weapons, the best weapons. Slave! And the poor little slave who's just putting down the silk looks up, and Fame says, "Give this fine individual one of our weapons." And the slave will pick up a very small blaster. It's really hard to tell what kind of... Actually, I believe you have a skill that's determined weapon quality.
Yes, I do.
Please roll that for me.
That's a D100. Yes?
Yes, sorry, D100.
Okay. Anytime now. There we go.
And what's your skill?
If I remember correctly, you said 120%, but I feel like that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. It'd be 98%. Nothing goes higher than 98%. Okay, so you can tell that this is some sort of laser pistol, but it is so badly corroded that it probably wouldn't even fire.
Kid kind of scrunches their nose at it and goes, "Do you have anything blunter than this?"
Of course we do. And he proceeds to offer you and show you a collection of weapons. Is it okay if I switch over to the others for a second while he's doing this?
Go for it.
All right. Xavier and Isaac. So Xavier, you've been listening the whole time. You can hear the conversation on the radio, so you know what you know what's going on auditorily.
Okay, yes, can't see the right. Okay, get it. Yeah.
And Cyber 6 will have said, "We've got a ping. We think it's in here. I'm trying to find it now." He says it very quietly, but you can still hear. And it's been, like I said, it's been about an hour and a half since they since they got to the Trade Center, and then about 45 minutes. So it's been about 2 hours and 15 minutes so far since they left. In this time, some people have come into the bar and gone out of the bar, but about this time, a large ape-like DB comes in, towers at about 7 feet, And Cows comes in very loud and says, "Barkeep, one of your finest drinks, please." And he'll go over to the bar and kind of look around the room. Is Isaac still sleeping?
Yup. Snore, snore,
Okay.
snore. Snore, snore, snore.
The
Quiet snoring, though.
large gorilla-like DB will look around the bar, and he'll grunt a little bit, like he makes these little grunts, and then he sees Isaac on the table, and he goes, "Oh, one that couldn't hold their liquor, eh?" And he'll walk over to the booth with his drink and sit down opposite Isaac. And Xavier, you can see all this. It's a little muted in the booth where you are, but you have a clear view and can kind of still hear, especially as loud as this guy's being. And
Okay, well, I'm gonna just hold up a second and see
Sure.
what's gonna happen.
Okay. And the large ape-like man starts drumming his fists on the table, like rattling the table. "Get up, lad. It's time to drink."
Huh? What? Huh? What? What's up? Hello? Who are you?
And then he like stands up and puffs out his chest. "Me."
Hello? Me?
He sits back down laughing. "M-E-E-E. Most people just think I'm trying to say me, but I'm really me. That's my name." And he like slaps the ale down on the table so that it spills onto Isaac, who's still kind of bent over.
Oh. And he's going to kind of look over to Xavier with a sorry expression on his face.
David's gonna give a bit of a shrug and give a big shit-eating smile.
And he says, "Drink with me. Barkeep, another." And the melodic voice will say, "Of course." And in about 15 or 20 seconds, the barkeep will bring over. The drink is not a metal fountain. You're not sure what it is. It looks like more common, like beer-ish type of drink. And
Okay.
sets one down. He says, "Drink. I had a good day."
All right. Isaac will shrug and start taking out the straw that he got earlier, put it in the drink, and start working it under the mask and all of that.
He'll look at you like open-mouthed. "What the hell are you doing?"
I don't know.
"Well,
At
that
least he's
makes
honest.
two of us. What kind of man drinks like that? What are you, a child? My own son knows how to drink." And he like takes a huge gulp and then slams the empty mug on the table. "You're not worse than my son, are you?"
Oh boy. All right. Isaac will take out the straw, put it on the table, and start undoing the head wrapping for the ninja costume.
All right.
After that's done, he'll start chugging loudly.
Okay. It tastes very much like a nutty type of beer. Like if someone had mixed walnuts somehow into a beer.
Then after he's done, he will just slam it on the table and go, "That was nice." And then start assuming the position of going back to sleep.
He'll nod, and then as you're assuming the position, he goes, "You look familiar to me. Have we met before?"
Probably not.
"Are you sure? I have a good memory."
Maybe we drank once before a couple of nights ago.
Xavier and
Mhm.
Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
could you both roll a d20 for me? Xavier, add 2 to that roll.
Okay. I got a 5. I got a rock.
Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's instinct or a long experience or whatnot, but even in your slightly befuddled state, you notice the gorilla man's hands are underneath the table. And he says, no, you certainly look familiar. Almost like, oh, what was that chap I heard about once? Yes. And his eyes get less glazed over. Isaac, I think was the name.
I don't know who you're talking about.
No, of course you wouldn't, but the Splagorth do. His face is plastered on every TV screen. And bad luck for you, my friend. You look a lot like him.
Question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had Isaac going through and helping Hart with the creation of that. Did you actually have me use ISP or no?
No. We'll say you have a fairly full complement.
Okay. Well,
now, is this a
Go ahead, Inferno.
that Vassal's having with?
I'm sorry?
Is it a private
Oh, no, you can hear everything. It's a little muted, but it's not unintelligible, so you can hear what's being said.
Okay.
I've kind of paused after that if you guys want to do something. If not, I can continue.
Do you want to do anything?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
If you want, I can go back to the other group for a bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So, kid, Fame has shown you about 6 items, none of which are anything close to what you've asked for. Like, not even close to the quality. I mean, not even really the same thing. You keep asking for a blunt weapon. He's showing you, like, arrows and telling you how magical they are, or another, like a rifle. He doesn't understand what you're saying, or perhaps doesn't care.
And this has just been going on the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Kid's just kind of been not so much playing the disinterested customer, but being the disinterested customer. Just kind of, but what about something that I can hit someone with? Just like trying to keep it rolling while Cyber 6 looking through junk.
While you say that, and of course Fame explodes into, oh, of course! And while you say that, Cyber 6 taps you on the shoulder and catches your eye and nods. And as he does that, the Fame starts yelling at the little goblin that was holding the rifle that he had, of course, told it to pick up. And he says, "She wants something you can hit something with, you stupid, sniveling slave." And the little goblin, actually, his eyes get a little bit, his eyebrows draw down in a little bit of anger, and it throws the rifle down on the floor in frustration. And the second it does that, Fame explodes in a rage, and he says, "You disobedient, ungrateful," and he starts whipping the little goblin violently to the point where it's drawing blood, and the little goblin collapses on the ground and curls up in a ball, wailing. And as it's doing this, Fame is shouting at it about being disobedient and is, "I will kill you!" And he just keeps whipping it.
Kid's expression goes blank, and to all observers, they lightly put a hand on Fame's shoulder, but Fame can feel the pressure, and they go, "That's not necessary."
Fame, still in a rage, kind of tries to shrug off your hand and says, "Stay out of it! As the last time!" And he continues to whip it. The howls of pain have become more of a weak whimper as the small, ugly little goblin has stopped moving so much.
Hand not so much.
Uh-oh. I think you cut out for a second there at the end.
Hand not so much pressed on Fame's shoulder so much as fingertips and claws bearing down into the flesh. They repeat, "That's not necessary."
Okay. I'm assuming this is restrained, yes?
Yes.
Do you have any sort of intimidation or charm bonus?
That would be connected to
Mental affinity. I don't believe you do.
It's a
Yeah, you have a 10 for mental affinity, so no.
So no.
You can still go ahead and roll me a D100 and try and get under 20%.
Okay. No. Is the
Okay
answer.
then. The Fame doesn't even seem to care or notice. Maybe he's such in a rage that despite the fact that you are drawing a trickle of blood, you can see like a wet spot start to grow on the robe. He does not stop whipping the little goblin.
Oh boy. Okay. Kid would like to well, there's a lot of things kid would like to do. But Kid is going to shove Fame backwards away from the goblin.
Okay. Question for you.
Yes.
Is Kid enraged or has full control over its shoving?
They're in control. They just didn't restrain this one.
Okay. Wait, they didn't. Okay, they didn't restrain. So this was like a full force shove.
Yes.
Okay.
They're specifically aiming to shove him into one of the piles of junk that are everywhere.
Got it. Cyber 6 watches in amazement as 4-foot little Kid shoves Fame, and Fame is incredibly light to your touch. He explodes through the pile of rubble and debris. And as he explodes through it and hits the floor, there is a sickening crack as his shoulder hits the floor. And he begins howling in rage and pain. And about that time, the two Brodakill stand up. Before I have you roll for initiative, do you mind if I jump back to the other group?
Go for it.
Okay. Hi, Xavier, Isaac. How's it going,
Hi.
guys?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Xavier is going to give a sigh. He's going to stand up. He's going to take the pitcher of booze with him. And he's going to sit down next to the what this guy? What was he?
Me.
He looks like a cross between a man and an ape.
Okay, the ape man. He's gonna sit next to him, and he's gonna say, "Is this seat taken?"
The ape man will look at you and he'll say, "Yes, my friend and I were having a conversation. If you don't mind."
Actually, I do mind. I see that you're selfish over your seats just as much as you're selfish over your bounties. I saw him first. Go ahead and fuck off.
Oh, clever. All right. Roll roll me an intimidation die.
Ooh.
I'm a clever guy.
Yeah.
I am going to do just that. Roll it 1d100. I succeed by 12.
He hesitates for a moment. He says, "Your bounty.
Yep.
I was given the coordinates for tracking a radio signal here.
Uh-huh.
My luck. Well, maybe it wasn't luck.
No.
But seems to me like we're in a bit of a quandary, friend."
We are, but don't worry about it. I have a perfect way of selling this out. Will you excuse us? Don't fucking go anywhere. And he's going to point over to Isaac, lest things get really violent.
Do you want me
that
to put the
clear?
mask on again, or
Just shut
Like-
the fuck up. Stand there. Keep your head down. We're going to be right back. Okay? And Xavier's going to stand up, and he's going to gesture
Hey.
to the ape man, me. Yeah?
while you guys are getting up? Hey, I had nothing to do with this. You make sure she's okay. This is not my fault.
The hell is he talking about?
I have no fucking clue. Let's talk. Let's talk business.
The ape man looks very tense, and he has what looks like a kind of small but dense, like club or asp. You know what an asp is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that on his hip, and his hand keeps kind of twitching towards it, but he doesn't make any overt moves, and he follows you.
Right. And Xavier is going to wait till they get someplace private. And he goes, Don't be nervous. I'm just thinking. Have you heard much about this guy?
Only what I've seen on the news feeds. I know you
Okay.
got a crew he's running with that could make us rich.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now the question is, if we kill him right now, are we going to get to the rest of the crew? No. Right.
I have no intent on killing him, but
Neither
making
do
him
I.
talk.
That's a whole other thing, right? Now, you're a big guy, he's a big guy, right? Don't you think 2 to 1 are better odds?
I usually work alone, mate.
Yeah, so do I, but circumstances change. So how about this? A friendly wager. You and I work together on this guy. We make sure he spills all the beans and we split the bounty of bringing him alive. Then it's all every man for himself chasing down the rest of the crew. How's that sound?
He looks you up and down. Do you have your weapon visible at all?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just wearing my suit with my sneer and my Amston the Shark face.
He looks you up and down and he says, "Not sure a little shrimp like you could even take him by yourself."
Okay, word to the wise, don't make assumptions about what people can do. How long have you been in this galaxy? Have you seen spells being cast? Have you seen people create fire out of nothing, convince others with their minds? Come on, be smart.
He hesitates again. All right. Fine. We take him down, find what he knows, and then we go our separate ways.
Exactly. Now, as I mentioned before, you've only seen stuff on the news feeds. Have you found out that he's one hell of a shot with a gun?
Feeds never said anything about that.
Yeah, well, that's what makes The difference between you and me. Now, you got drive and ambition. I can respect that. But I did my research. It's why I was sitting over at that bar watching him rather than walking straight up. But that's okay. It's real simple. We have to lure him into a trap. Okay? Now, this is what I'm thinking. We could just grab him here right now, right? This place doesn't have the highest security. But why make a chance, right? Why give him a chance to run to his friends, to his crew? Let's set up an ambush. How about that? What do you think?
All right,
If you could decide where you wanted to lurk and just spring up on this guy and knock him unconscious, then we can drag him someplace else nice and private so we can have a real intense conversation with him. Where do you want to set up? And he'll kind of look around the area and encourage him to do the same.
He'll look around, definitely. And then eventually he'll say, all right, I'm going to go out there, set up around that town square over there. But
Okay.
there's only one entrance into this bar and out of this bar. If I see him or you trying to leave and cheat me, well, friend, we won't be so friendly anymore.
I know. Don't worry about it. Okay? Besides, I'm the one taking the risk. We already had some pretty strong words with the guy, right? And he's talking about some woman. I think I can use it to the advantage. I'll lure him out. I'll tell him that's safe. And then we'll spring on him. Okay? Now, I'm taking all the risk because if he's suspicious, he'll gun me down right there. So, just let me do what I do, and you can do what you do, okay?
All right.
Great.
All right. We'll see how this works.
Good. Well, get into position. I'm going to wait a couple minutes, and then I'm going to go back in. You'll have our eyes on us, so you'll see exactly what we plan on doing next. And Xavier will give a big smile.
The ape-man nods and begins to walk out, and as he passes Isaac, he points to Isaac and says, "You're mine, little man."
Isaac will just watch him go out and shrug and kind of keep to himself and start putting on the ninja head mask again.
Xavier will head on over and sit across from Isaac, and he says, "Are you awake now?"
I am now, yeah.
Great, good. Because I have some things that I have to talk to you, and I have to talk to you quickly about it. First and foremost, the mask being off, probably not the best idea, but that's not what got us in this trouble. Sure enough, someone's tracking our signal, which means we gotta get out of this bar quickly. Now, the good news is that I stopped that big brute from coming in and causing problems in here. I convinced him to work together and to plan an ambush. Now, please tell me, did you bring a weapon?
For the first time.
Xavier's going to sigh and discreetly pull out his pistol and slide it to you underneath the bar. Okay. Now you have a gun, and I've seen you work magic with this thing. Hell, you're a lot better shot than I am. So this is what we're going to have to do. He has his eyes on this bar, and if we make a break for it anywhere else, he's going to come at us. So I suggest we do a reversed ambush. I'm going to lead him to you, and once you get within range and a good shot, you put one between his eyes, and then we fucking run.
Sounds good.
All right. You ready?
Give me 15 seconds.
All right.
And I would like to pair with the gun for these 15 seconds, DM. Is that okay, DM? Squee?
Yes, sorry, forgot I was muted. Yes, that's perfectly fine. Okay. I was going to say, during these 15 seconds, on the other side, kid, obviously you're a bit distracted, but you're going to hear in your headphones, you're going to hear Cyber 6 say, Xavier? And then you hear Seth's voice going, he's doing something? I'm not sure what, but he seems a bit preoccupied. And at this time, the Vertikill are standing up and like still trying to assess what's going on, but you hear that side of the conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and Inferno, Isaac, is it okay if we do you guys first for a little bit? Because I want to know if this is going to end up in resolving in combat or not before I start.
Considering the plan is that we're going to try to murder this guy,
Yeah.
we're going to assume combat is.
Yeah,
so
we're
take
gonna assume
whatever
combat.
steps you want to take.
Yeah, so let's enact that. That way, if there's combat on both sides, then we're all kind of in combat. So we can kind of just play it that way.
Okay.
Well,
Well, except for Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
he's
even
right.
know where he is.
No one knows where he
Lucas, who
is.
is you know not where. Okay, so you pair with the gun, and so 15 seconds pass.
Mm-hmm. He will conceal the weapon and try and follow the instructions that Xavier gave him.
Okay. So what do you guys do? You're gonna exit the. Well, walk me
I'm
through what
gonna-
you haven't planned.
Well, the plan is very simple. I'm going to be all smiles and lead Isaac out of the bar and head towards the ambush spot. And I'm going to get ready to run over out of the way. Like, I want to kind of... Okay, here's the idea. I want to be in front of Isaac because I want to screen him. Block the view between the ape-man, me, and Isaac. So when Isaac reaches for his gun... the ape-man doesn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then pow, 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 pow. You know, pop, pop, pop.
Got it.
So that's the plan.
Okay. All right. The ape man, he's hidden somewhat well. Both of you can see him, but if you didn't know to be looking for him, you probably wouldn't have. So he at least seems to be at least competent in blending in. He's behind oh god, I can't think of the name of it. A
Hedge. Lamp.
No. A
Hedge
lamp,
lamp.
kind of hedge lamp. No, a very thick pole with a light on top in the station that generates light around it. So like a street lamp. But you can clearly see him looking out from behind it, and he's
Okay.
about 50 feet from the entrance.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so you start walking towards him,
Mm-hmm.
and then how close do you want to get before?
I'm going to leave that up to Isaac. He's the...
Yeah.
I'm acting as the screen. He's the
Right.
one who knows when to fire. If you want real quick, Isaac, the range of the little Walther PPP style is 135 feet.
Okay. All right. Question, Squee. Just to make sure, this place has a ban on MDC, guns and weapons and stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because if I were to accidentally hit the hull, it would cause explosive decompression.
Correct.
Or there's a risk of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much
Yeah,
damage
it might
does
not.
this...
It would. It's not a certain thing, but it could.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. How much damage does the pistol do?
Xavier, do you have the stats of the pistol handy?
What do you want to know?
The
damage.
stats, the damage of the
The
pistol.
damage.
2d6 SDC.
Okay. Gotcha. I will wait until
8
we
shots.
get within 30. 30
Okay.
is a good number.
All right. So at 30 feet,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say that Xavier, it's not too hard for you to stand in between the two. It's
Right.
not like that's a difficult thing for you to do.
Oh,
So you can see him poking his head out, and I mean the lamp isn't too wide. It gives maybe like 30% cover. You can see him on
Okay.
either side, but his head is definitely poking and watching.
all right.
Here's what I'm going to do, because you planned this fairly well, and you did convince him, so he's
Unawares.
exactly. I'm going to give Isaac one shot, and then depending on how that turns out, we will initiate combat.
Great.
All
Yeah,
right.
so we pretty much get an ambush round,
Yeah.
for lack of
Okay.
a better word.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. So Isaac,
Mhm.
as always, he's got 30% cover. You can try and do a called shot, or you can just take a shot at him and then deal with the cover. It's up to you.
I will call the pistol to my hand, make a called shot to the head.
Okay.
What is the penalty for
Ow.
that?
The penalty is a -6.
So it's a straight D20.
Okay.
My bonuses. Pa-pam!
Whoa.
17.
Okay. He's unaware, so he's not going to take an action to defend. Roll damage, sir.
11 damage.
Okay. Hang on while I math. Okay. So here's what happens. You shoot him in the head. Has anyone here seen Tombstone?
Yes. Of course
Okay.
I have. Tombstone's a fucking great movie.
It is.
Yep.
You shoot him in the head, and you've left him with 1 HP in the head, which means this to me. You have shot him in the head, and it has not killed him instantly. But his motor functions are kind of going out of control, kind of like when Doc Holliday shot Johnny Ringo. And you shoot him right in the forehead. It goes into his head, doesn't exit. It leaves a small trickle of blood, and he starts lumbering forward and mumbling something, and his eyes are rolling up into the back of his head.
All right. Well, then.
I am not going to roll initiative because I'm sorry. A shot to the face that does that much damage, he is not. If he survives the next 5 seconds, he's not going to be in a fighting mood.
Yeah.
So I will say combat completed there.
Fantastic.
Piph, I'm just going to say they are unresponsive.
Who's unresponsive? What's
are.
going on?
And I'm
we'll
going
find
to
out.
jump back over to Kid. So, Kid,
Yes.
if you would, please, I'm going to shoot you over to the initiative area. Piph, I'm also going to shoot you there as well.
Don't shoot him.
Everyone, well, I'm shooting a link to it. And... And if you guys could start putting yourselves in. Piph,
I don't need to go in, do I? No. It's just
No.
Laura. Yeah.
You'll still be able to like talk to him over the radio, but you can do that. You don't need to be in initiative
Sure.
to do it. Piph, I don't know if you're going to do anything or not, but I'm still going to put you on the chart. And Cyber 6. Okay.
Oh, and do I give myself the tease?
Yeah, give yourself the tease.
Yeah. T for turn. T for it would be terrible if you died right now.
It would kind of suck a little bit.
And thus ends the adventures of Kid. All right.
Yes, that is correct.
There we go. Lucas, I'll let you. I don't know what your attacks are. I don't know if you're going to be using them or not, but I'm putting them up there anyway because if you choose to do something, it'll have to be in initiative order. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, Kid, if you would, please. Which is for you, it's the D20 plus your initiative bonus.
Initiative bonus is...
Oh, they did not roll well.
Okay. So... Boop.
Whoa, okay. Wow.
Get it?
Yeah, you did it. You rolled initiative good. All right. If you could put that in the initiative space. 14 for cyber. All right. Here, I'll just put that in for you. Burn. I know it's an eternal thing, the sorting. I tried sorting the other day. It didn't work.
Maybe not quite.
Thank you, sir. All right. So, kid, here's how we're starting the situation. The bro to kill have recognized what just happened. Fame is completely out of the fight. He's on the floor with his arm bent at a weird angle, howling. The bro to kill are pulling out what look like large, nasty, saw-toothed swords and are just started to head towards you and Cyber 6. And that's where we're kind of starting. So you go first. It's up to you what you do.
Is there anything around me that I might have noticed in Fame's drolling that might actually work as a weapon?
Yeah. Despite all his very talented drolling, there are several large, not large, like 3-foot poles made out of MDC material that could work fairly well as, say, like a club or bludgeoning weapon. There's one that's like slightly bent. It has like a wicked bend in it. The top of it makes a very small like L shape, like a hook.
Oh, is that one within reach?
Yes, that one is within reach.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
Is that my turn, or can I start at them?
No. I mean, it's within reach. You can pick it up and then do something. I mean, that wouldn't be a full action.
Okay, and how far away are they again?
Hang on. Let me put them on the map. They're on separate sides of the room. So you've got one to your right, one to your left, and they're each about 20 feet away. Okay. And there is some rubble in between you and them.
Ugh.
Yeah, bro to kill or not. A lot of not pretty things in this store.
I'm noticing.
So we're going to make one of them red so you can kind of tell the difference. The red one's on the right, the white one's on the left.
Okay, makes sense. Kid is going to go after the one on their right. Cyber 6 can do whatever Cyber 6 does. I don't know.
Yes. He's good at that.
But
he's
yes,
the best at doing what Cyber 6 does, actually.
And
all right, so you're going to charge the one on the right. What's your speed value?
That's a good question. 13.
Okay. You're going to be able to get a good way, over halfway to him. But between picking up that weapon and getting to him, you're not going to make it all the way.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, so Cyber 6, seeing you go for the one on the right, you said?
Yes.
He's going to draw. He's going to say, well, I probably would have done something if you didn't. And then he's going to draw what look like 2 double-barreled sawed-off shotguns.
Oh.
Hang on. He's going to draw what look like 2 double-barreled shotguns, and he's going to point at the one on the left, and he's going to unload on him with one of the shotguns with both barrels. So he's going to roll to hit. Sorry, I have to look at his stats real quick. Okay. All right. That is definitely a hit. The Brodekill, he's not going to try and dodge it. He's going to well, he can't. He's just going to take it because he can't dodge it. He's not close enough to attack him. So, Cyber 6 rolls 30 points of mega damage as the double-barreled shotgun fires a slug, or the two slugs, directly into its chest, leaving burnt singe marks on the Broodkill's chest. All right. Lucas, you can choose to act or not. It's up to you. Lucas,
You're muted, Piph.
you're muted, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm going to try to slide the mace into my clothes.
Okay. You do that without a problem, as you are good at sliding things into your clothes.
Sweet.
All right. With that, it's the. I should probably mark this as red or not. So that one's not the red one. This one's the red one. The one on the right. So the one on the left that got hit by Cyber 6 is going to charge Cyber 6 and swing the wicked-looking blade at him. So he basically roars in pain and rage and runs to Cyber 6 and does like a power strike at him with just both hands, swinging it as hard as he can. And that's enough to hit. Cyber 6 is actually going to try and parry. However, he doesn't really have anything but his shotgun, so he's going to try and parry with the shotguns, but that might mean the shotgun takes damage, of course. So he successfully parries. Sorry, someone going to say something?
That was a nice.
Oh, I see. Parries with the shotgun. I'm going to give this just a straight 50-50 chance. Nope. Okay, so shotgun is taking the damage. Shotgun takes 21 points of mega damage. So he parries the blow, but the sword cuts the shotgun in two. It cleaves it in two. Oh, actually, hang on. I'm sorry. That should have been double that, technically. But still, whatever. It cleaves it in two. And that's that Rotokill's turn. The Rotokill on the right is going to be charging you, kid, and doing very much the same thing. They not a whole lot of strategy per se, but a whole lot of brute muscle. All right, so he's coming at you. He's just swinging the blade. He's not quite enraged like his friend, but he's swinging it in an overhead chop towards your head. And he crits. So, he is automatically going to hit you. You could take a simultaneous action, but like a parry and dodge, since that's a crit hit.
That could, well, if you crit dodge,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could possibly parry or dodge if you roll a critical as well. You can floop. And if you spin the floop on that, that's just an automatic dodge, but it takes 2 actions to do it. It's up to you.
I'm gonna floop behind him.
Okay. So burn 2 actions, if you would, please. And the ISP required. And Lucas, Kid is there, and then there is a literal floop sound, and Kid's not there. And about 3 seconds later, there's another floop sound, and Kid appears behind the Broadkill.
That's pretty cool.
Kid, it's your turn again.
I would like to take my hooked blunt beating object and sweep it under his feet, if I might, GM.
Okay, that's going to be a called shot to his legs.
Yes. And would that be with my bonus?
Yes, it'd be your blunt weapon bonus. So it's your plus to strike plus 3 for your blunt weapon bonus.
Oh boy.
Well, that is enough to... Wait, yeah, the legs are -1. So yes, that's still technically enough to hit.
Okay.
You are behind him. He can't parry you. He is going to try and dodge out of the way, though. But he's not very dodgy. So, surprise, surprise. Not incredibly agile, but a little bit of the shock working in his favor of you disappearing. He stumbles forward at the perfect time that he dodges inadvertently your bar.
Give you a friendly reminder, dodging takes up an action.
Yes, I know. And thank you. And it is Cyber 6's turn. Cyber 6. Oh, and that's another action. There you go. Cyber 6 is going to... He is actually going to try and stick the other shotgun directly in the Vertikill's face and pull both triggers. The only one that's not damaged in his hands. So he's going to do a called shot. Excuse me, pardon me. No. The gun clicks and nothing happens. Well, sucks to be you. Yeah, the gun clicks, nothing happens. Lucas?
Is the Burkill that just dodged, which way is he facing at this point? Towards or away from
From Kid?
Yeah.
He's actually facing away from Kid, stumbling basically away from Kid.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to throw my voice and make an exact floop sound towards his right instead of directly behind him.
Oh,
Clever.
okay, clever. That will
That'd be
that's
2 skill checks, I guess.
yes. However, it's not considered a hostile action, so it won't take down anything, which I think is exactly what you were going for.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Go for it, my friend.
Now, is this floop an actual sound, or is it somebody saying
it sounds
floop?
just like this, floop. And there was a small pitch difference when they returned. It was more like floop, but it made that exact sound.
So it's like I need to. It's actually 6 points difference. Is it a voice sound or a sound?
No, it's a sound.
Sound. Got it.
Yeah. It makes the onomatopoeia of FLOOP.
That'd be a success for the sound.
Okay.
Of a 19, and for the other one, that is a success of 25.
Okay. So you're able to duplicate the sound of the floop to his right. All right. The Brody killed the not red one that just had a shotgun shoved in its face and clicked and nothing happened. Is going to grin and strike at Cyber 6 again. So, oh my god. Okay then.
You guys are rolling tip-top shape today.
Cyber 6. Whew. He's going to try and dodge it, but he's going to have to roll a critical to do that. But might as well give it a shot. No. So that's going to be double damage. 6, 20. Inferno. We don't do this too often, but do you remember if you have a bonus to damage because of your strength and it's crit, is that doubled as well?
No.
Yeah, I
No,
didn't
no.
think so.
No, I don't think so. No, you add that after.
That's what I
I
thought.
think it's DM's call, but
Okay.
I'm
But
pretty sure that isn't the case.
all right, well, we're thinking along the same page, so let's go with that one. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 20s.
That's a. I was like, that's not right.
Don't do that
That's
to him,
closer.
man.
25. Okay, so the wicked sawtooth blade actually scores down Cyber 6's body, splitting his sombrero and poncho, and they fall off. All right. And now it's the red Brotakill's turn. Give me a second here. Okay. Red Brotakill swings his sword to the right. Kid, you heard a sound that's very, very familiar to you to the right for some reason, and the Brotakill swings towards it wildly, cutting nothing but air because, well, nothing.
There's nothing there.
Right. But you don't see anything around you other than Cyber 6 and the Brotakill. And it's your turn.
What does this being's back look like? Like I'm looking at the picture and it looks like there's like tubing and stuff coming out of him. Like
yeah, here, let me show you like a kind of a bigger picture of what Broadkill looked like.
Okay.
They like to have like cybernetic enhancements all the time. These ones don't actually have any cybernetic enhancements. So ignore the metal parts, but that's generally what they look like.
Okay, so they don't have any like tubes and stuff sticking out of them.
No, a lot of Brotakill like to have cybernetics. These are actually kind of oddities that they don't.
All right, and you said that my blunt weapon has a curve to it. Is that curve pointy or is it just a curve?
Here, I can draw it for you real quick. So basically, it's kind of like here's that, and then it ends like that. But imagine the straight line instead of my crappy drawing.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to. I would like to jump up on the back of this monstrosity and using my claws, sort of climb up it. If I can, for my turn.
Sure, it's like 7 feet tall, so you would have to climb it. Okay, I'm gonna have you roll a climb check at a severe penalty because you're climbing a living, angry, somewhat confused being. So could you roll?
How much of a penalty?
30%. So make your roll harder. Add 30 onto what you roll.
Boop.
You scurry up its back like it was a piece of rock.
Alrighty.
And I'm gonna say that, especially with that kind of roll, that was basically just a movement. So you could still do like a regular attack or something if you wanted. Because I mean, it took you no more time to do that than it would to just move 13 feet.
Okay. I would like to. Oh well, it's not really a hug. It's more of an angle. I am going to take the weapon and try and put it to the front of the Brotakill's neck and sort of like yank it towards me. So I'm trying to choke him out with this weapon because there's no way my arms are going to wrap around that thing.
Okay, I see. Oh, I see. So almost like using the weapon to make a chokehold.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You are a mega damage creature, so that's possible. I'm gonna have you roll opposed strength checks as
Okay.
it's trying to keep you from choking it. Roll your what is your strength?
That's PP, correct?
Yes.
Or is that
No. That's PS.
Oh, mine is 17.
All right. So add 2 to your your D20 die.
2, 2, 2.
Okay. It's a struggle, but you're able to lock the bar under his chin and start cutting off his windpipe.
Oh
And
boy.
as you do it, his head kind of kicks up and he gives a gurgle like, ah! All right. It hasn't started doing any damage yet, but when it's his turn, we'll do an opposed strength check. If he's unable to shake you, it's going to start doing serious damage to him. Cyber 6. Oh, Cyber 6. Oh, and by the way, that's you got one action left. Cyber 6 has lost a gun, had one malfunction, and has just had his favorite poncho and sombrero cut in half and fall.
It's been a long day.
He is going to curse violently, and he is actually going to grab the Broadkill by the neck and kind of like try and get him in a headlock. So he's going to do almost like what you did, a post strength check, except Cyber 6 did not roll all that well.
Oh.
but rolled well enough. Cyber 6 in a curse is going to grab him by the head. You're going to see his mechanical body is going to open up a little bit, like on his arms and shoulders and back, and little gouts of steam will shoot out of it as he unleashes a robotic yell of what sounds like rage and proceeds to pick up the Broadkill and like do a backwards body slam with it. Like basically fall onto almost like a WWE type move. But one of those that would actually be very, very painful if done correctly. This is going to count as 2 actions for him. And that is going to do not extensive amounts of damage, but
Probably gonna make him feel a little bit better.
well, it's going to put him prone on the ground, entangled. That's kind of the point. So, and do 16 points of mega damage. All right. So the Broadkill is flung down onto the ground, kicking up a pile of rubble. Lucas.
Does it look like the one is being choked out by the kid?
Mm-hmm. It certainly looks like its windpipe is cut off. You can see the bar indenting into its throat.
Ah. I'm gonna hold my turn.
Okay. Hold your turn. That Broadkill is that's the one that just got body slammed by Cyber 6.
Hello, friends.
Hmm?
Hello. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm probably going to take off here pretty soon.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun, but it's I got a few things I just have to take care of before I go to sleep.
Yeah, no,
And
I actually do need to
And I figured this is perfect because you guys will probably wrap up combat and end things pretty soon too, right? Either way, I'm not currently a part of it, which doesn't bother me at all, by the way. So I figured now's a good time as any.
Okay. Then
So-
take care, buddy.
You betcha. It was a pleasure playing with you all. Pleasure playing with you too, Alora. Especially.
Have a good night, man.
Well,
All right.
sweet dreams.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right. So believe it or not, Cyber 6 is attempting to do kind of the same thing Kid is. Because I don't know how exactly to describe it. The Broadkill has been flipped over on his back, and Cyber 6 still has it in a headlock, and he's now trying to use that leverage to choke it as well. But he's going to do, the Broadkill is going to try and break out of it with an opposed strength check. He rolls a 9. That's not very good for him. Nope. Oh, wait. It would help if I'm rolling the right die, wouldn't it?
Maybe a little.
I'm tired. Okay. What the hell? Seriously. For real this time.
Let's do this.
So, wow. That's a really good roll this time, Broadkill. And he manages to break out of Cyber 6's grasp and roll away. That is.
Did you notice
action.
that that's the same exact dice he just rolled?
What do you mean?
Look at the dice. It's an 18 and an 8, and you got an 18 and an 8.
Oh, yeah. Well, except this time it was two different
Nicely
people.
done.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. But yes. All right, and the red Broadkill, same thing. Kid, we need to do another opposed strength check as it continues to try and pull the bar away.
Okay.
It rolls a 10. You roll a 21.
Nice.
Damn. All right, now, if this was an SDC creature, you would start doing damage direct to its hit points. But since it's not an SDC creature, I'm going to say you're going to be doing double damage for as long as you're choking it out.
Okay.
So, normally, a club like that would do probably about 3d6 damage plus... no, I'm sorry, 2d4 damage plus your strength bonus. Double that, except for the strength bonus.
So 4d4
Correct.
plus. Okay, so then that's damage plus strength, or
Yes, correct. So basically plus 2 to whatever you roll.
Okay.
You have 2 max and 2 minimums. 12 MDC straight to his head. Okay. He tries to pull the bar away from his throat, and maybe it's the rage, maybe it's the, I'm not sure how your character's feeling at the moment, but you yank it back into place, and his gurgle becomes more of a and it's clear that he's having trouble breathing. Your turn, Kid. If you wish to continue choking him, so here's the way this is going to work. Every time on your turn and his turn, you'd roll an opposed strength check. If you succeed, it will continue to do that damage. So it's basically this is one of the rare occasions you could be doing damage on his turn and your turn.
I would like to continue holding the bar to him, but I would also like to press my head against the back of his neck.
Okay. All right. Roll me an opposed strength check, please.
So that's the 20 plus 2, correct?
Mm-hmm. Okay. He manages to pull the bar out enough that he can get his head out from under it. Now, you're still on him, but the bar is no longer at his throat.
Shoot.
All right. Cyber 6. Cyber 6 is going to pull out one of the clearly visible, you can clearly see now that his poncho is gone. He has 6 holsters, 4 of which still have double-barreled shotguns in them, all up and down his chest and back. He pulls out one of those and again tries to shoot the Broadkill in the face because he is pissed.
I didn't realize he was a Reaper fan.
Yeah, more like a Reaper was a fan of his. Wait, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
You got it.
I got it.
Good job.
Thank you. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. That's enough to hit the roadkill. They are pretty close range. He's gonna try and parry it with his hand. But that's a fail. Okay. That's gonna be a shot directly to the face. He does. Okay. All right. Cyber 6 pulls out the double barrel shotgun. Sticks it like a few inches away from his face, the Brotokill's face. And as the Brotokill goes to swipe the gun away, pulls the trigger. You hear the sound of an explosion, and you see a mist of red blood where the head used to be. As this was 30 points of mega damage directly to the Brotokill's face. It does not have much of a head left. And that Brotokill is down. Brotokill Red's turn. He is going to try and grab at you. So he's going to make a strike roll with his hand to try and grab you. And then, so he manages to grab you unless you parry or dodge or something.
I would like to do a simultaneous attack.
Okay.
I would like to bite the shit out of his hand.
Okay. So he grabs
Eloquent
you.
and graphic. Well done.
Yes. He grabs you and you bite his hand. Okay, so he's going to grab and pull you off his back. So he's going to be holding you, but by the time he pulls you out in front of him, you are hanging on to him more than he's hanging on to you. Roll to strike with your just like a normal attack, but with obviously no weapon bonus.
Okay, so it's just regular
normal
strike
to
bonus?
strike, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's 7. Maybe.
What?
It's
7. Yes, it's 7 plus 7.
Okay, all right, making sure. Oh no, not 4 d20s.
Yeah. No. All right. That's definitely enough to hit. He can't do anything to stop it. Please roll me 2d6 plus 2. As you sink your teeth into his hand.
Plus 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't sink your teeth into his hand. You tear off a chunk of his hand, and he drops you.
No touching.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you say? Spitting out Broadkill hand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So give me a second here. You're out of actions. Lucas, you've held your turn. Do you want to do anything?
Is there any more blunt weapons around here?
Roll me a D100. There's tons of stuff around here.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. There is give me a second. Buried in one of the rubbles. Oh, I know. In the rubble that was kicked up when Cyber 6 body slammed the other Brotokill, when that happened, it kicked up a bunch of debris. And in the bottom of one of the debris, maybe because it was in the bottom for so long and wasn't exposed to the elements, is a fairly shiny morning star, an actual handle with a chain attached to a smooth metal ball.
Good find.
I'll be going around one of the battles for that one.
Okay. So, what, you're just going to pocket it?
Yeah.
Kid, roll me a D100, please.
B100, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that's fine. So now it's Lucas and Cyber Six's turn.
I would say that just getting the mace would be my turn.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, you guys are the only ones with actions left at all in this melee round. So what's going to happen is Cyber Six is going to drop the expended shotgun, pull out 2 more, and point them at the bro to kill who's holding his hand. And he's going to say, basically, he's going to, in a very angry robotic voice, say, "Are we going to do this? Or are you smart enough to stop?"
Ah.
And the bro to kill...
Lucas is going to be cheeky now. he's
Mhm.
gonna go up next. Cyber Six is like, say it's either going to be Brotakill or Roadkill. Say it.
Cyber Six looks over, hearing Lucas's voice, and goes, "Lucas?"
I'm a voice in your mind.
Oh God, I gotta think how Cyber Six would even react to this.
Definitely coming out of left field. Right, maybe? Not sure which field we're in.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang on, give me a second. Okay, Cyber Six is going to very calmly say, "Robots don't have voices in their heads. Lucas?"
I'm a sound chip in your head.
Oh, for the love of God, Lucas! Cyber Six says. And then he turns to the Broadkill and says, "It's either going to be Broadkill or Roadkill." And he actually says it with quite a bit of venom. And the Roadkill puts up his hands, the one that's half bitten off and the other one, and says, all right. Don't hurt me." And we can step out of combat if you choose.
Kid's just gonna straighten up and wipe the blood off their face, just like, ugh.
All right. Then if that's okay with everyone, we can end the session there.
Sure.
Alrighty.
Sure. Yeah, because I mean, getting the items and getting back together is going to take more than I have time for tonight.
Right.
Fair enough.
That's fine.
All right,
All right.
so we will pause it here. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.